Hey, what's up guys? I'm showing you guys how to play the Final Fantasy trading card game. So, this game is so much fun. Um, and it's 95% of the, kind of like Magic, the Gyron. So, if you guys have ever played Magic, you guys will actually understand this a lot more. And that's what happened with me is that whenever I watched a video on how to play it, I picked up immediately because a lot of stuff is basically the same, or yeah, a lot of stuff is basically the same as Magic. So basically you have three different types of cards. You have forwards, you have backups, and then you have summons, which is basically what those are. So this is a forward, this is a backup, and then this is a summon. So summons can only be played on your turn, as far as I know. And so basically how you summon out your monster or your forwards are, so let's say you had two cards in your hand and they're both Tidus. So let's say that was for example. So you discard the 6 crystals and they give you 6 mana, and then you cast something in that same type. So if you cast or you discard 1 water and 2 water to give you 3, you have to cast a 3 cost. And so water has to equal water, wind has to equal wind, and then so on and so forth with the different types. You cannot do water and wind to make a water. You cannot do that. And so there's a bunch of different abilities which I will be showing you guys. First one is Vigilance. Now if you guys have ever played Magic, you guys will know that Vigilance is basically to where it doesn't tap for attacking, which is really quite nice. And so in this card game, it's called Dull, is when you turn sideways, or if there's an ability that targets it, you dull it. Break is basically destroying. And then in order to win, you need to deal your opponent some damage. And so the attack doesn't focus on the damage. It's more of when your opponent blocks. And so let's say I swung with both Tidus, which you can only control one, but let's say for example I swung with, actually let's do something like this. Let's say I swung with a 9,000 and then 5,000. So my opponent would take 2 damage, and then if they were to block, then whichever one was lower would get destroyed. So it's kind of a mixture of Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic in that perspective. So and then there's Vigilance. Haste. Haste means that when you summon it, you can attack with it. And then Brave means that you don't dull it, so that's what I was talking about. First Strike means that it deals first damage, and then regular combat is done. And then there's Search. Search means that you add a specific card from your deck to your hand, which is pretty obvious. And then there's Freeze. Now Freeze, what that does is that frozen characters won't be activated, or in other words untapped, until the next active phase. So, which is interesting. So there's a couple different abilities for the card game as well. So something like this where it has S, that just means it has to be another card with the same name, like another Waka, or something like that. So that's what that means. And then there's, oh yeah, here's the other cool part. So let's say you did Titus and you had Yuna on the field. So basically what you can do is you tag in a party and then it does 14 damage, or your power is 14,000, but your opponent would only take 1 damage from this, not 2. So, and then if your opponent blocks, you can choose which forward can take the damage. So, which is also really quite cool. So that also helps with getting rid of big stuff or making your opponent not block that turn. And then there's also something else cool in here called EX Burst. And so what that does is, let's say you took 1 damage and this was in your damage pile. And so EX Burst would trigger, then you return 1 card, 1 forward to the owner's hand. And so it disrupts their play and it makes them return, or makes them waste more resources to bring out that forward again. So it's really quite cool. In that perspective of, you know, the game. So, and then what else is there? I need to explain to you guys. Oh yeah, you draw 5 cards for your draw phase. The person that goes first draws 1. The person that goes second draws 2. So that's the other different thing about this game too, is you really want to go second and have more cards in your hand, which is basically any card game. And then let's see what else there is. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for how to play the game. I mean, it's really, oh yeah, and you need a 50 card deck as well in order to play. But you get that with the starter decks. But yeah, so that's basically how to play the card game. It's really quite fun. It's really, yeah, it's really fun, and I really enjoy it a lot when I do get to play it. So yeah, so thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, comment down below and I'll reply to you guys best I can. So yeah, so thank you for watching. Don't to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And yeah, next Wednesday I'll be doing a deck profile over of Final Fantasy over that deck. So stay tuned for that for next Wednesday. And yeah, I'll catch her. Alright, like this.